So, you're civic leaders, and I suppose I would ask myself what that term actually means and what the term leader actually means. And I think sometimes there's a misinterpretation of the term leader, because I think very often the focus is on the individual in terms of what makes one person stand out over and above somebody else. That's important, but I don't think it covers entirely what the term civic leader actually means. Probably the most important issue is that sometimes you have to make decisions that aren't popular. When I was at Portadown Technical College, I had one notable teacher who, shortly before he left for university in England, said something to me that I never forgot. And his words to me were this: walk where everybody else runs and run where everybody else walks. And I think when we come to civic leadership and issues surrounding civic leadership, very often the decisions that you have to make might not be popular ones, but they're decisions that you would take based on your convictions. And if you have the strength of your convictions, anything is possible. Genuinely, anything is possible. The second of the three things I wanted to talk about in terms of civic leadership involves the pressures that you may face after you make those decisions. And one particular individual springs to mind in that context: my boss, President Obama. 1995 was when he took a job in the south side of Chicago to work among disadvantaged communities. These people were in conditions that, frankly, are an awful lot worse than anywhere here. He got in, got the sleeves rolled up, helped people become voters, gave people academic tuition, training through. But that was President Obama's legacy, and many speeches that he has made since he became president. He's referred to the fact that the 3 or 4 years that he spent in Chicago as a civic activist or a civic leader were the years that moulded the attributes that he needed as US President. So never underestimate the power of the work that you can potentially do. The final issue that I think is slightly different to a normal leader under the context of a civic leader is the fact that very often your accomplishments won't be recognised. I'm rushing off to another meeting after I talked to some of you today for a programme called AMBIT. And these people are young community leaders who we have brought to the States for a period of 10 days to look at best practices in parts of the US. And I've every confidence that most of these people don't want publicity. In fact, it's actually contrary to their success if they were to become recognised for what they do. They're really the unsung heroes in society. And one of the things that I've found in the 11 years working for the State Department here is the sheer number of people on the ground who you can define as unsung heroes. So you may well be an unsung hero. So that's my perception as to what a civic leader actually is, or how I could define it in a very succinct way. And somebody else came up with this phrase, it isn't my phrase, but you have the capacity to be a small rudder that shapes the big ship of society. So have a think about that. You can be a small rudder that helps steer the big ship of society. And I don't want any of you to think that you're not capable of making a positive change in the society and the neighbourhoods and the communities that you operate in. There was research done recently that said that this generation, your generation, has the capacity to make the biggest change in society than any other previous society. 61% of Americans now feel that they can shape the future, and I would love that optimism to be evident here in Northern Ireland as well.